some of my first readers' favorites from Usborne. And I'm going to start with the very first collection we ever got, which was the Usborne Phonics Readers. And these are wonderful little books that have lots of rhyming and alliteration with simple words and have hilarious titles. So Chameleon Comedian is a little story about a chameleon who thinks he wants to be a comedian and does not tell very funny jokes. So you can see everything's through simple speech bubbles and simple sentences to help your reader. And then they go through and he finds out that, well, instead of being a comedian, the chameleon is actually better suited for the disappearing act, because he's a chameleon. And this series has tons of books. So there's Chameleon Comedian, we have some Halloween themes like Trick or Treat Parakeet, and they'll kind of have that rhyming title to get you engaged. But they're simple, they're short, so great for bedtime or nap time stories. And some of them even have the QR code where if you scan it, someone will read the book aloud. So if you have a child who wants to do read-alouds in the car and such, this is a great series to start with for your beginner readers. Graduating from that, one of our favorites are The Monster School of Monsters. This one is about Jamie Lee's birthday treat. Jamie Lee's going to have her birthday at school and decides that she's going to bring a whole suitcase full of magical treats. And then you think the teacher's going to get mad when they start to get ready, but in fact, everybody gets to run and enjoy these crazy, amazing treats. But throughout the entire book, they're, again, simple sentences, but this book, instead of just having the words in one color, they highlight some of the easy-to-read words. So at the very end, when you review the words from the book, it shares all of those highlighted words and kind of leveling them to say, this is what we reviewed in this book. You know, what words did you recognize? If you have a beginning reader, which ones should we still work with? And you can kind of tell, the levels of words that are in this book. So most of these are orange and green. Green being the lowest, middle, and hardest, I guess. And then, at the end of the book, if you have an artsy kiddo, there's a how to draw the characters at the end. So this is a great series. There's 5 in the first set, and then they just came out with, I believe, 4 or 5 new books for the series. So it makes a really great collection for beginner readers and having fun. So there's the first set of the series, and now there's new ones. And in addition to these, there's also 4 workbooks that go over words, alphabets, shapes, and numbers. So if they really love these monsters and want to do more things with them, there's some workbooks that go there too. And then one of the greatest things that we have gotten in the past month is the Usborne very first reading library. The reading library comes with 3 types of books. There's the very first reading, which you'll see is kind of a green binding, and it has the numbers for levels. And then it has a next level, which is an orange binding, and then there's purple binding. So it kind of goes up in levels, but I'll show you the first one first. This is Pirate Pat. And it'll even tell you in the beginning of the book how to use these books. So not just reading it straight from the bat, but reading the top corner and talking about what words should you be helping your child read as you go through. So I'll read the top corner. The night was cold, the sky was black, the window rattled, and then my daughter would go tap, tap, tap. Now she's not 3, so I'll say tap, 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 and then she repeats tap, tap, tap. And you go through this very short little story with a little twist at the end. And then I am Pat. So simple words for reading and recognition, but my daughter loves these. The very end, there are these great puzzles. There's 3 puzzles, and she wants to read the book just to get to the puzzles. This one is about ordering the story, or retelling the story. So you look at the pictures and you talk about what was happening in this scene, what was happening in this scene. And these are actually extremely important skills if you're going into kindergarten and first grade. If you have a young one that you're trying to test early into school, I know that this is one of those skills for literacy and comprehension that they look for, is can a child retell a story as it was told based on pictures? Can they reorder pictures for the correct order of a story? So these are some of the skills that they look for when kids are entering school. So I'm very excited that she likes to do them and thinks that they're just fun puzzles, because they're presented that way, a puzzle, it's a game. It's not learning, it's not a test. It's just fun. Which is how learning should be, just fun. And then puzzle 2 talks about choosing the right word. Now, right now I read these to her and ask her which word probably makes sense. Is it Sam or is it sad? If the dog's named Sam, Sam. Is this a man or a man? And then she kind of makes sense of the words, and we talk about the similarities between the words. But you kind of pick the correct word. Right now I read them to her, but eventually the idea is that she'll read them to herself. And then rhyming. So again, she reads through these, and I read through those, and I ask her which one rhymes until we connect them all. And she's very good at this. Again, it's intended for a reader, but she can't read, so we just do it together for fun. But that is the very first level. So a lot of guidance, a lot of help for you as a parent, and really fun puzzles at the end. And no matter which level you do, so say the dragon and the phoenix, at the end, there are still puzzles. And these are probably my kid's favorite. My daughter loves the differences, spotting the differences. She always wants to find this one and do this one with me. Putting them in order is great, but the difference one, she looks for books with the differences in the back. But again, this one, notice how it has a little bit more sentences, less of those simple words where your child reads those along with you. And then here we have, this one we haven't read yet. Oh, different of a book. So this one's a little back to simple, but doesn't have simple words to read. So if they're becoming an independent reader, less overwhelming with the words, more for the pictures, but simple sentences for them to practice with and feel successful. And always, at the end, the puzzles. And here goes another one, spot the differences. These are some great books. I never thought they would be as good as they were, and then we got them, and I was like, these are even better than what I thought they were. I thought they were just simple books to read, but they have a lot more going on, and really help foster discussions about stories with your kids if you're struggling getting that started with them. So that's about it. Those are the ones we have so far. Like I said, she can't read quite yet, but she loves reading those with us. If you're looking for something to kind of encourage and push your little readers, don't ever hesitate to read a higher level book with them, because they go to sleep one night and wake up even smarter the next day, and you never know when that's going to happen. So catch them early. And that's it. So thanks for watching my video on some very first reader suggestions.